let's look at the root of racial hatred. The what of racial hatred? The root. So the kingdom concepts, if it doesn't reflect the actions, motives, and purpose of why Yeshua came to the earth, then it doesn't fit the kingdom concept, and we have to get rid of it. Okay? It have to get rid of it. Now, self-exaltation is the what? The core of all racism. Racism and being a racist, two different things. Racism is a system. Racists are the people who benefit from the system. But I use racism because the first thing we think about is white folk hating black folk, black folk hating white folk, people hating and hating and hating and hating. That's what we think about, right? So I'm just going to give you from the scripture, we're going to look at theological. I don't like using the word, but I use it because it simply means the study of Yah, the study of El, or the study of God. And most our listeners know, and those that's with us, I do as much as I can to use original names that he gave us, because I do know that when you change names, that's a principle of slavery and colonization. And they had no right. They changed the names of these biblical characters to promote their culture and their religion. See, a government, really an idea or thought or a government rule or law in the government need legal permission, and is given by religion. Okay. All right. Now, let's look at, you can take a picture of these scriptures. You're going to check them out for yourself. But I got, I thought I had one or two posts. You get them, baby? Okay. Let's look at this. Self-exaltation is the root. Let's look at Ezekiel 28:2, then Isaiah 14:3. Let's get two of these. Let's look at two of them. And let me pronounce that. Got my chart up here. Yehikiel. Hezkiel. There, my brother helped me pronounce this stuff in a minute. I'm just getting help around. I appreciate it. All right, y'all got it? 2 and 2. Yeah, for the English speakers, that's Ezekiel 2 and 2. 28 and 2. Sorry. Thank you, baby. We're going to look at the root, right? 28 and verse 2. So what you going to do? All right, I'm going to begin reading at verse 1. Just for time's sake, I want to get at least two of these. All right, he says here, and the word, I say Yahweh because, people do it the English way, or Yahweh, Yahuwah, however you say it, but I prefer Yahweh. I got that from a Hebrew linguistic that I talked to, and he's, born again, stuff like that. The word of Yahweh came to me again, saying, Son of man, say this to the prince of Tyre. Thus says Yahweh Elohim, because your heart is what? Is what? And you say, I'm a who? God, and sit in the seat of gods in the midst of the seas. That word seas is talking about people. So any person who have exalted or lifted themselves above another person, created being that the Father created, this is where the source of that philosophy come from. Because Lucifer, the fallen covering cherub, was the first one who started tripping and thought he was above somebody in his rebellious state, by the way. So any person that's been created on this earth, all of us were created in his image, in his likeness, and I haven't found nowhere where the scripture said where the white man is superior to the black man, or the black man is superior to the white man. Lucifer started this stuff when he started tripping. He looked at himself in the mirror and saw how good he looked and how good he can sing and dress, and he started tripping. Y'all missed time to joke. All right, let's look at Isaiah 14:3. You can read the rest of it for yourself. Yamayahu 14:3. Let me know when you got it. All right. And here's Ezekiel will give us what happened and how Lucifer was created, the state that he was created in, and when he got off and stuff, the iniquity was found in him. Then Isaiah is going to give you more information on it too. Yamihu also, and it says, and it shall come to pass, what I said, 14:3? 14 and 13. All right. Let's see. For you have said, he's talking about Lucifer, how you're fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning, how you are cut down to the ground, you're weakening the nations. For you have said in your heart, on the inside of you, I will do what? Ascend. Self-exaltation. The root of racial hatred and those people form this system of racism is tied direct back to the rebellious, unemployed cherub. It's the devil. It's the nature, it's a precept that came, an idea that came from Satan himself. So to be a racist or to participate or benefit from racism is telling me and telling you that my concepts, which form my belief system, which what my convictions are directly tied to the devil, old serpent himself. So when I post stuff about racists are evil and of the devil, you can see why now. And over in Yochanan chapter 8, Yeshua told the religious folk, you of your daddy, the devil. Because if you was of the Father, you would know me. you know your real daddy is. The devil's your daddy by nature and concepts and how you think in the belief system. And you know that people right now, today, which is a day of the religious worship authorized by Constantine, Caesar, or Lord of Rome, who was supposed to get saved, but he really didn't. He didn't. And he was promoting and pushing this religion to promote and push and upbuild the kingdom of Rome. Okay? So this day you got black people, white people everywhere setting up, talking about we worshiping Jesus and tied direct to the devil in the concepts and belief system. Belief system full of demonic thoughts. To be a racist is to be demonic. To promote a racist system is demonic, is evil. I don't care how much Christian you are and what the nation was built on. How can a Christian nation be founded on demonic principles? Because it's a Christian nation. And Yeshua never came to establish a Christian nation. He came to establish the government of the kingdom. As a matter of fact, this is one of the problems with a lot of born-again believers set in darkness. They preach Yeshua the Messiah and not the message that he preached. You still talking about getting saved. All the songs about getting saved. When are you going to get saved then? How long are we going to stand at the door and, glorify and Lord save us and do this and at the cross? And he is the way to get into the kingdom. So people are stuck. 1 Timothy, he says that the Father will help all men to be saved and come into the knowledge of the truth, which is the kingdom. All right. So I wanted to just show you this about the root of self-exhortation. There's a lot in there. I want to touch some other stuff. Like I said before, I'm not trying to get everything. So self-exhortation is the core of all racism and racial hatred and the way people think. They are convicted. They are convicted. It's just so much coming up. If you trace the precepts back, the Greek way of thinking, and you will find out that our culture is actually based on Greek philosophy. Christianity is based on Greek-Roman philosophy. America, culture, and law, when you go to courtroom, how do the buildings look? They look like something from Rome. What do the lawyers learn? Latin. What is it? Writs and all? How come y'all couldn't just do it in English? Well, this is the way the system, because it's based on Rome law. America, like the prophets, they've been lying, talking about is not included in the Roman Empire. America is an extension of the Roman Empire that's been scattered. Europa. Roman Empire, was split because of immorality. I think 14 out of the 12 or 10 out of 12, how many Caesars was, most of them was homosexual. That's why they wore the earring, so I won't be denied male nor female. Now, I know guys from Africa do it for a different reason, but that's why they did, if you didn't know that. So Rome did not fall as a result of military inferiority. It fell because of out of control immorality. And it was split, and all those different areas that were split, they call it Europa. Hitler, Hitler said God put him, I'm saying God now because it can't be Elohim, put him on the earth for a mission, and that was to revise, bring back together the Roman Empire. That word Ritz German Ritz, that's what it's tying back to. And he really believed that the European Jews were standing in the way. They need to be eliminated, because they was trying, because European Jews, they was founding, or not founding, but they was pushing Judaism. You see, religion. So it was getting in the way of their religion. So they had to go. And at the same time, I forget the guy's name, you had this other German general over in Africa slaughtered 10 times as many Africans as Hitler did the European Jews, but we don't have no museum. Racist. When you really start checking things out and look at the kingdom concept and start checking out where this stuff come from, you'll be flabbergasted or blasted. Which is it? Gasted, one of them. And some of these young people find this out and they're walking away from churches. But they're walking away from to another religion of error. Okay? So, we got to get this thing. All right? So let's move. All people come from who? All people come from one. One. And in this series, well, when I get back to it, I really want to deal with color science, color based on science. I think I got it on the last slide on this one right here. But we're going to look at this color stuff. And it wasn't no Shem. Let me say it nice. It wasn't Shem, Ham, and Japheth that Shem was white. Japheth was white, Shem was olive skin, and Japheth was black. That's what religion teach. I got scientific evidence that'll blow that out the water. Okay? It's in the genes, the gene pool, genetics, melanin. See how quiet it got? Because that's what we've been taught. If it happened then, how come it's not happening now then? And I know stuff happened, but two capital AABB, those genes, put those genes on those categories, and two small cap AABB, it can't happen. I got a chart and I'm gonna show you. There's the gene pool, and Adam and Masa Negad had to be my color. I'm medium brown. America say I'm black. I'm brown. I can show you some guys from Sudan who are black, blue black. Now, when you look at scripture in Egypt and you Cush, well, that's the color they were. Adam and Eve had to be brown because only that gene pool with two people, that gene pool could produce light and dark. It's scientific. It's been scientific. That's why a lot of scientists won't fool with certain people. They say, y'all teaching that stuff, and we can prove it. But anyway, got your attention? Miss Leah, Acts 17 and 26 would tell us from one blood, or from one, he called all nations. Now, nations does not necessarily reflect skin color. That's why we have a problem with what they're doing in Israel, trying to make it a Jewish state. That's religion. And Jews are more than olive-skinned people. The original Hebrews that was there in Israel look like us. Now, the Muslims, and Farrakhan been trying to tell y'all, but you won't listen to them. Because you've been taught not to listen. Christians, we separate. Not we, because I'm ambassador. I'm not a Christian no more. But, the Christianity teach you to separate, and don't hear that. That's demonic. I was taught, I almost hated Egypt based on what I was taught in the seminary. I hate my own folk, hate my own color and everything. Oh, this is Egypt. That's all this witchcraft and warlock and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And then I just started reading for myself, and found out some things when like they said that it was. Okay, so from one blood, actually, blood is in italicized, it wasn't in the original text. He was saying from one, the Father called all nations. All right? Now, let's look at the concept of racism.